Hey, everybody. Paul Gray here. Thanks for joining me for another edition of Grace to All with Paul Gray. Today's recording is going to be a little shorter than usual, and it's all going to be by a friend of mine named Richard Murray. I've interviewed Richard several times on this podcast, and I frequently repost his things. He's a defense attorney in northern Georgia, pretty close to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and he's just a very insightful guy. And like Jesus, he uses a lot of parables or modern day stories to get across his points. Now, full disclosure here, when I was growing up, my family and I were boxing fans. We watched in the 1950s, we watched the Saturday night fights. I'm not particularly a boxing fan anymore. I'm more into loving people than to beating them up. But I like the announcers for boxing matches. And I was also a baseball fan, as all my family were. And I really thought maybe I might be a baseball announcer when I grew up. Things didn't work out with those. But now I get to do a little announcing just for fun on situations like this. So this is from Richard Murray. It's a boxing parable. And I'm not in any way trying to come across as a good professional boxing announcer. I'm just going to give you my take on it. It's called Get Ready to Rumble. All right, here we go. Welcome to this epic and cataclysmic clash of cosmic wills. In this corner in our fight tonight, ladies and gentlemen, wearing the baggy and ill-fitting trunks of crippling self-consciousness, originally hailing from the planet Earth and tipping the eternal scales at a very feathery and insubstantial weight of wisdom, known to have the feeblest of focuses and the wobbliest of willpowers, all the while possessing a very short-armed reach and shallow grasp of eternal realities, not to mention a very fickle nature, a sometimes petty perspective, and an incredibly uninformed and myopic temporal agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the human will. And in this corner, wearing the seamless cloak of oceanic compassion, originally hailing from heaven's heart, checking in at a scale-crushing weight of eternal glory and gargantuan goodness, known to have a single eye, an indefatigable heart to serve his beloved Abba's agenda of love and light in reconciling all creation to the Godhead, all the while possessing an endless fountain of patience, a limitless reach to rescue others from the uttermost to the guttermost, and an omni-willingness to help every one of his most vehement haters, no matter what the cost. He always turns the other cheek, walks the extra mile, gives the additional garments off his back, and sends the needed rain and energizing sunshine on both the good and evil alike. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you the Lamb, the Logos, and the Lord. I give you Jesus. And then the fight goes on, and the announcer comes back on for the post-fight analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, it was quite a fight. The human will opened the fight with a flurry of punches to the Lord's face and stomach, mixing them with illegal headbutts and below-the-belt blows. It seemed at several points that Jesus was down and out for the count, but he would not stay down. Jesus would, at the count of 9, repeatedly rise up off the mat and smile a swollen but sincere smile at the human will as he himself continued to be pummeled and pulverized. But in the 15th round, an amazing thing happened. The human will started to tire. It had completely punched itself out. It had thrown everything it had at the Lord, but could not prevail. The Lord never struck back, not one time, but instead just absorbed all the human will's hate and hostility. As the human will's arms lowered from overexertion and extreme fatigue, the human will's line of vision was no longer blocked by its own boxing gloves. The human will could at last look Jesus in the eye and see him as he truly was in all his self-giving and curative love. The human will finally realized that this was no enemy to resist, but a friend and a brother to wholeheartedly embrace. It had finally had enough. The human will slumped to its knees, sobbing, and was counted out as cathartic tears stained the mat. Jesus bent down and lifted the human will up and embraced it. The fight was over. Well, that's a great word picture, isn't it? I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, and appreciate you letting me do that for our time together today with Grace to All with Paul Gray. Love you all. See you all next time.